The US soldiers with Archer Battery Field Artillery Squadron 2nd Cavalry Regiment with support from 12th Combat Aviation Brigade CH-47 Chinook helicopter crews took part in air assault training at the 7th Army Training Command's Graunhofer training area in Germany. The United States Armed Forces are trying to showcase their military combat skills in various parts of the world to counter many different particular issues. Hello and welcome to SSB Crack Exams. I am Hemant and now we are discussing more of such most important defense updates of 12th of May 2020. Before beginning, I would like to tell you that SSB Crack Exams is India's largest most preferred online defense exams preparation portal. It is one-stop solution for you if you are preparing for NDA, CDS, AFCAT, INET, Territorial Army and Indian Air Force Airman Group X and Group Y. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram and even directly visit us through our website learn.ssbcrackexams.com and even directly download our app from Google Play Store where you can have each and every defense related study material, content and all sort of information in your hand. Beginning with the question of the day that I have posted on 11th of May 2020, that is yesterday, and the question I asked was how many shafts does the engine of Airbus A400M aircraft has and what importance does the number of shafts in an aero engine give? Now we will counter this question in two different parts. The first part of question that how many shafts does the engine of Airbus A400M has? Before that we have to understand that Airbus A400M uses an engine known as Europrop TP400D6 engine, something which is shown here in a very schematic diagram. This is a turboprop engine and it is a 3-shaft configuration. So how many shafts does the engine of Airbus A400M aircraft has? It is around a 3-shaft configuration. Along of them, 2 shafts have a gas generator followed by a free power turbine which was chosen to maximize the overall pressure ratio. Now we have to understand what basically is a turboprop engine. A turboprop engine has a complete shaft and along with that shaft we have a propeller. In short form we call it as a prop. We have a gearbox, we have a compressor from here to here. All of these are known as the compressor blades. This is the turbine and all of these are the turbine blades, and this is an exhaust. Exhaust can be oriented, directed in any particular direction. If this stops only here, then the exhaust will be producing up to this particular side. So this is a very schematic diagram. What generally happens is when the propeller rotates, along with the propeller some other outside air also enters into the compression chamber, wherein the compressor rotor blades will rotate themselves. Some of the blades will rotate and some of them might be constant. For example, this part of the compressor might be rotating from here to here, whereas this part is absolutely constant. This part is again rotating and this part is again constant. It depends upon the configuration of that particular kind of engine. It goes inside and the compressor will compress the air. Once this compressed air enters into the combustion chamber, there the compressed air will mix with the fuels. Once they are mixed with the fuels, the burners will burn out that particular mixture and then a large amount of heat energy is produced. Here we have a turbine and this is a high power turbine, high pressure turbine, and this are the low pressure turbines. Turbines will accelerate the amount of heat of the air that is produced, wherein which the energy is accelerated into a large amount of proportionate amount of air, and that air is produced outside as an exhaust through the exhaust chamber, and then the energy power is retrieved. If we don't have any part of propeller and if the whole aero engine begins only from this part to this part, then you call this as a turbojet engine. Instead of a propeller, if I fix a very big fan here, then you call it as a turbofan engine. But instead of putting a fan, if I have a gearbox and then if I have a propeller here, and then it is known as a turboprop engine. This is a very schematic diagram of a basic turbofan engine where I am able to see and explain to you about the low pressure compressor, the high pressure compressor. This is a very low pressure shaft and the high pressure shafts, and then there is a combustion chamber here. There is a low pressure turbine and then there are a high pressure turbines. All of these, here we have the nozzles where the air is directly exited out without any orientation of the nozzle. That we have to remember. So the purpose of the low pressure compressor is that it compresses the air in a little bit. Once it enters the high pressure compressor, the air pressure will be compressed a lot and pressure will be increased. In case of our particular turboprop engine, the Europrop engine, the overall pressure ratio is around 25:1. That means if I have an air which is around 25 cubic centimeters of volume, that particular air can be compressed to the 1 cubic centimeter of volume. So in that way the air gets compressed, and when you're compressing, a lot amount of heat is produced. So aero engines are a very beautiful technology. This particular aero engine has 3 different shafts that we have to remember. One shaft will connect the 5-stage intermediate pressure compressor with 1-stage intermediate pressure turbine. The second shaft will connect the 6-stage high pressure compressor with 1-stage high pressure turbine. And there is a final third shaft which will connect our low pressure turbine to the 8-bladed composite propeller in an offset gearbox. So here you provide an overall pressure ratio of 25:1. Going on with the most important updates of today, and the today's updates are about the Know Your Navy, and this is about the Indian Naval Air Squadron 303, which is very recently commissioned on 11th of May 2013. Yesterday was its anniversary. This is a frontline fighter squadron of Indian Navy. This has a MiG-29K aircrafts, which are multi-bone carrier-bone fighter aircrafts, and they have been an integral part of the fleet's air operations. Going on in more detail about this particular squadron, the squadron's crest has a black panther in between with an aggressive posture over a white and blue sea waves, which signify the courage and agility of the predator on prowl. The squadron's motto is Asambhav Bhi Sambhav, which means making the impossible possible. This squadron participated in Varuna 19 Indo-French naval exercise. Going on with the next important update of Know Your Navy, it is about INS Utkrosh. This was also commissioned on 11th of May, but it was commissioned on 1985, few much more before than the Indian Naval Air Squadron 303. INS Utkrosh is based at Port Blair in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and it caters to the flying operations of the Indian Navy. To get more in detail, that these operations include the maritime reconnaissance in Bay of Bengal regions and the Andaman Sea to aid the civil authorities, including casualty evacuation and search and rescue operations. Utkrosh means a sea eagle, which is included in its crest here. Next important update is also about Know Your Navy on INS Garuda. Indian Naval Air Squadron Garuda was commissioned also on 11th of May 1953. This was much more older one, and the operations that this particular air squadron air station includes it includes surveillance, aid to the civil authorities, and including casualty evacuation and search and rescue operations. INS Garuda also undertakes training of pilots and observers for the naval aviation arm. Next important update is that the Indian Air Force airlifts 8.3 ton essential chemicals to assist the state government in tackling the Vizag gas leak victims. On 9th of May 2020, Indian Air Force carried out humanitarian assistance and disaster relief HADR operations by assisting the Andhra Pradesh state government in tackling the Vizag gas leak patient victims. Next important update is that US and British soldiers conduct reconnaissance exercise in Poland. This was done during North Atlantic Treaty Organization's Enhanced Forward Presence Battle Group Poland mission in Bemowo-Piski, Poland. To get more in detail about this particular news, I would like to tell you that the US and the British soldiers have enhanced forward presence as a NATO allied forward deployed defense and deterrence military posture in the Central Europe. This is there in order to protect and reassure the NATO's Central and Northern European member states on the NATO's eastern flank of their security. So this particular reconnaissance exercise was conducted yesterday. Next important update is that the US Army boosts air assault training in Europe. US soldiers with Archer Battery Field Artillery Squadron with support from 12th Combat Aviation Brigade CH-47 Chinook helicopter crews took part in air assault training at the 7th Army Training Command's Grafenwohr training area in Germany. This is what I was discussing with you in the introductory video. What is more important about this, sir? The important thing is that this training includes very unique techniques which combine the use of helicopters with infantry and artillery on ground to move troops and equipment very quickly in the battle. You can see the soldiers tying up all the artillery equipment to the Chinook helicopters, and then the Chinook helicopters are conducting the exercise there. This is a very important air assault training which is being done. Next important update is that Pentagon agreed additional fund to Textron systems under the Unmanned Surface Vehicle Program. On May of 8th, 2020, the US Department of Defense agreed a 20 million cost plus fixed free revision to contract signed with AAI Corporation, which is basically known as the Textron Systems based in Maryland. The contract extension includes engineering and technical services, developing Textron's unmanned influence sweep system, Unmanned Surface Vehicle Program, and many more. To get more in detail, what more are these is that the Textron's UISS will allow the literal spacecraft to accomplish its mine countermeasures, sweep job and target acoustic, magnetic and combination magnetic mine types. According to Textron Systems, this particular program will meet the demand of the US Navy. USA, for the first time, clearance and wide area coverage, which is essential to offset acoustic influence mines, is also being included. The UISS also aims to offer a very high area coverage range in small, lightweight package with minimal effect on the hosting platform. Now we will have a very quick review of the questions we have discussed, and the very important questions are coming up here for you. The first question is Utkrosh means. Utkrosh means a sea eagle, INS Utkrosh, which is commissioned on 11th of May 1983, is a very important Indian naval station for us. Next important question is that INS Garuda was commissioned on, is it commissioned on 11th May 1953 or 1956 or 57 or 59? The correct answer for this is it was commissioned on 11th of May 1953. Next important update is that INAS 303 has which animal on its crest? The Indian Naval Air Station 303 has Black Panther animal on its crest with blue and white ocean waves in its background. Next important question is which among the following type of engines is most efficient? Is it high bypass turbofan engines, low bypass turbofan engines, turboprop engines or turbojet engines? I have told you very clearly, for example, that there is an aero engine where you have a compressor stage here and then you have a shaft, then you have a turbine stage here. The air will enter inside. If you don't have anything and if the air is directly entering through the compressor stage, then there is a combustion chamber where the compressed air is mixed with the fuel and that is burned, and then it crosses with the turbine and then it will go out through the exhaust. If nothing is there, then this particular engine is known as a turbojet engine. But if there is a gearbox included and along with that gearbox I have a propeller in front of it, then it is a turboprop engine. In another way, I don't have any kind of propellers here. Instead of that, if I have a very big large fan which is basically little bit bigger than the engine, and above this fan I have one more streak, so that I not only the air is entering the compression chamber, it will also bypass through above the fan without even leaving, not going inside the main engine. That way we call this particular air which is going out from the main engine, that air is known as the bypass air. Okay. So this is a bypass air, and if this bypass air area is too less, that is known as a low bypass. And if the same bypass air is very large, for example, you have a very large fan in front of it and then the air has to pass through a lot of area. You have the whole engine here, and then if the whole bypass area is too much, and that is known as a very high bypass turbofan engine. Among all of these different type of engines, which aero engine is most efficient? And the correct answer for this is that the high bypass turbofan engines are most efficient, because high bypass turbofan engines are basically using the atmospheric air that is directly included in our own atmosphere. So that air will be more beneficial for us instead of we providing it a lot of power inside it. That is a very important question for us to consider for today. Next important question is that recently the US and British military conducted the exercises in which particular country? They have conducted it in Poland. Now we have a question of the day, and the question of the day is which airport in India is known as Mountain Shadow Air Force Base? Which airport in India is known as the Mountain Shadow Air Force Base? The answer for this I will be discussing with you in the next session. Until then, subscribe to SSB Crack Exams channel, download our app from Google Play Store and keep your study progress on time at a very good pace. I wish that you qualify each and every examination that you're studying for. Stay home, stay safe, and Jai Hind.